Welcome viewers to the finals of EUF Summer Tour in Heilbronn, Germany. In the finals, we have Wall City going wild with their Hallelujah Berlin cheer right now, and Heidees on the other side. This is a rematch of yesterday's streamed game where Berlin managed to win by 2 points. I expect a good game. Ravi?
Yes, this is a great game. According to the algorithm, there's a 15 to 12.9 differential. Wall City favored by just over 2 points. But it's one last game and a lot to play for. Heidees, 16th place now in the ranking. Still didn't have the best opening game today. Did have a good semifinal win against Bad Skid, but they ended up taking that game on Universe. From what I heard, just playing on fumes on drive, not really having anything left in the tank and just playing for everything because they know their best chance to go to the EUCS is to win this tournament. So Heidees with a bit more motivation here, I would say, and I think they do back themselves to take this game.
All right, well, let's see if they can pull that off.
Wall City on the other side came into this tournament in the top 4, I think in 3rd place coming into this weekend. Yesterday when the rankings were run, they dropped down to 6th place. They also have a little bit of motivation. They would like to get that top 4 seed and are hoping that probably with a big win here, they could do that. Different motivations on each side. I would say the drive is probably a bit more on the Heidees side.
Yeah, I can say that the boys at my Airbnb last night, the Wall City boys, were not happy with that drop in the rankings. They're looking to climb back up today, and we are off. Heidees to receive, Flo Reiner in the back of the end. That's a beautiful pull. I believe it lands it and slides out. Should mean we take it at the front of the end zone. The pull from Phil K. He likes to brand himself as having the best pulls in Europe. You know, comment in the stream if you disagree.
That one slid out of bounds, so I don't know. Mediocre.
Linus Lutsch to Flo. Confident leader Jasper Linde in the backfield. His sister watching from the sideline, his brother playing with him. We've got a deep man free, but Vlad goes to help. And that's a brush G from Wall City. Goes out of bounds. Heidees try to make the play on it, but it works out. I would have preferred that Icy make the catch there, but he brushes out of bounds, and it works out this time.
Yeah, but still almost a catch there on the off the tip. Just a little bit wayward, just floppy enough to make it tough to read that sideline. And we open up with a break opportunity for Wall City.
Kay slowly walking to the disc. No fast break available, so he's content to go slow and let them set up. Jasper Linde, his friend and adversary, on the mark. Phil, always a threat to Huck from any spot on the field. Instead, he loses yards to Vlad, who swings it around to Garvey. Linnemann Stones, a.k.a. Linnemeister with the disc. Stall count getting a little bit high. He finds Icy on the reset. Back to K in the middle. Backhand position, will he rip it? No, not this time. Both teams look a little bit tired to start the game here. I'm not seeing a ton of cutting intensity, feeling each other out a little bit. And that's a big rip to nobody.
That was definitely a stall 9 punt from Ned Garvey. Heidees O-line defense doing a great job there, shutting down every open option, forcing that to turn. That's a team defensive effort.
Not the worst thing you can do on stall 9, put it as far away as possible, but certainly not the best.
So Heidees surviving. You talked about fatigue here. Heidees do have a slightly bigger team, I think by maybe 1 or 2 players, but both teams definitely suffering on the 6th game of the weekend here with small rosters.
Yeah, Wall City coming with a roster of 27 to EUCF, and on this weekend, I think, toggling between 17 and 18. A lot fewer players than they're used to on the roster. Boom with the disc. Good dump D from Bazoff, and Ned gets the block. Wall City with a very short field and a chance to convert for the first break and the first point of the game. K again to the disc. Phil calling his good friend Vlad into the dump space, typically a cutter, but he trusts him back here. Throw open side, go open side is the motto.
Toes goes.
And there it is. Wenderholm, toes gozing his way. Phil doing the same. Instead, we have Garvey on the swing. Floaty pass. Can Bazov bring it in? Yes, he can. Those are Midnight Cobra mixed teamouts from Russia, now reunited in Wall City, and they get the first break of the game here.
Nice of Garvey to redeem himself off of that punt. That nice break into space. Looked a little contested, maybe, but Bazov bodies out well and takes it down strong. Wall City start off with a break 1-0.
Now, Ravi, we've seen a ton of the Heidees this weekend. What are they looking to do to pull off this upset against Wall City?
I think they have to play with ferocity and energy. I know they're tired, I know they're gassed, but it's going to take defensive power, which I think for some reason they favor their defense favors the way that Wall City plays offense, and they got a lot of smart accelerating blocks against Wall City. They're going to need that in this game. And then on offense, they're just playing a little sloppy and tired. They have to clean that up on the other side. Just play safe, play calm, and play with confidence.
Well, here's their chance to do so here. The big question mark with the Heidees is always, where's Sonntag going to play? Nis Sonntag, one of their main players and a great handler. All weekend he's been starting on the D-line, but here, down in the hole already, he's coming over to offense, help shore things up. He's the man in the blue hat.
It does seem to me that they've done a wholesale sub here, basically taking everybody off. So trusting their whole team to do it, I don't think they're going to stick strictly to lines anymore. They're a short roster, and it's the last game of weekend.
So here they come. They've made it to about midfield so far without a hiccup. The aforementioned Sonntag with the disc, catches with power position, but doesn't throw the huck. Heidees with some nice flick blades to open people. Wall City more trying to contain than to cover completely, it seems, so some people are getting a little bit free. They let the dump go backwards. And the call from the sideline is melt into force right, but that's a flick. That goes off to the break side. Not Dumka's fault there. That throw shouldn't have gone off with the melt-to-man defense call, but it does. And Heidees have the hold.
When that throw went up, I thought Stewart was a little out of position to get to it, but he turned on the jets, the athlete that he is, and powered his way towards that catch. So Heidees get their first hold on the board, 1-1, still down a break. Here's the blade from Sonntag. Again, when I saw that go up, I thought that looked off, but he knows his receiver better than I do.
Maybe Stuhlert's a bit faster than guys like you and I. Possible, probable, and likely, I'd say.
Turned out to be a beautiful option. Heidees got to be happy with that, but what kind of pressure can they bring? Again, when I saw them play defense against Wall City last time, which was many moons ago, it feels like, yesterday in the morning, they played with a ferocity and intensity that I actually haven't seen them really match in other opponents. Can they find it in themselves to bring that fire now, the 6th game of the weekend?
There on the line, we saw Ava Muller supporting the Heidees, an incredible ultimate player in her own right. She's been very nervous watching the Heidees. She follows the algorithm closely. She says she wants it all to be over for the Heidees to be in.
The easiest way to do that is just win this game. They don't have to worry about any calculations.
Definitely.
Speaking of which, I can talk around the tournament real quick. 3SB have punched one of the first wild cards of the weekend. They won against Terrible Monkeys 13-10 in the final in Trnava. So they've now secured themselves a spot at the EUCF. I'll try and bring you updates around Europe as things develop.
Wall City with 4 passes have gotten it to Herkins in the middle of the field on the sideline. A nice, cute inside, and the bounce gets it all the way to the other side. Wall City under no pressure just yet. Heidees content to contain. Wall City content to try to work it through slowly. Ferdia Rogers with the disc in the middle. Oh, and that is a contested D. Throw to Heinrichs. Linus Luch gets it, and they're talking about it. Was it a foul? Was it a strip? That was very close.
First glance, it looked like a clean D to me. I think that Luch got his hand to the disc before Heinrichs got his hands around it. He's having, I think, very spirited player. I think you've told me he's the spirit captain of the team. Let's have a close look. I don't think he had control. I think that's a bang, bang D from my view.
I would have to agree.
Heinrichs is accepting the call. I think that's the right one, and Heidees have a chance to break back early.
And that's exactly what we talked about, Ravi, was stationary cutters just waiting for the disc to come to them, and the Heidees players leaping on the disc. I'd like to see more movement working in the vertical space back and forth from Wall City cutters. Hans Tiro to Jasper Linde. Lux. Oh, Lux rips it as he walks to the goal. Oh, and that's a beautiful throw. Sometimes when you catch that disc out of bounds and you're allowed to walk it back to the line, that gives you almost a sort of artificial power position. You're allowed to do it, but he really walked into that throw, got it way out in front. Very nicely done from Lux, who got the D earlier in the point.
Yeah, great throw here from Lux. And that's exactly what we talked about. He kind of walks into that throw. Now, that's actually allowed in WIFDIF rules, but in USA Ultimate rules, you can't do that. In USA Ultimate rules, whenever you're walking the disc to a pivot point, you have to do the ground tap to show where your pivot point is going. Which one of these rules do you prefer? I actually like that you're allowed to do this here, and I think the ground tap is pretty useless and stupid.
I absolutely do too. I'm a big aesthetic appreciator of Ultimate. I want the jerseys to look nice. I want people to have personal style. And I think tapping the disc on the ground is silly. It's unathletic. It feels like you're taken out of the sport for a second to do this very weird motion. And a lot of players, when they come to Europe under the WIFDIF rules, they sort of keep doing it. And you don't have to.
If it's one thing Ultimate is not, it's silly.
No, that's not our style.
This is a serious game.
Yes, indubitably.
Just taking a look around in Chambéry, there's also a wild card match just starting up between Quixotes and One Tribe. One Tribe dropping again the jet set, but still managing to get themselves in the final. So that game hasn't started yet. Keep you updated if I see something.
Typical initiation from Wall City, able to get it easily to a cutter on the sideline and then work from there. Ferdia Rogers, the lefty. Sweet lefty flick to Kay. Gives it right back. I'm seeing high pressure on the cutters, and there it is, the D from the younger Linde, Freddie Linde. That's an amazing D. Keeps happening to Wall City. Cutters getting run through. Heidees looking for the break, working hard, coming out fired up. There's Sonntag with the quasi layout. Fakes the hammer on the goal line. Can Wall City set up their junky look to stop this end zone work? There's Ferdy rushing to the line. 5 Wall City defenders guarding the line. Can they get it over the top? And Wall City has stopped the bleeding for now. Kay close to the disc, gets them back to Heidees' close brick mark. Stulert finds his man, Freddie Linde. He is fired up, punching the disc, jumping into the chest of his teammates. Wow.
Sorry, but that is Liam Schall, just to correct you there, that got the D and the bookends on the score. Number 14 for Heidees, cleaning things up here. And great, I mean, it's the same problem you said. We see the replay here, I think, on the run through D. I don't know what it is about Wall City, but maybe they're just not used to people running down their necks. But Heidees are just getting run through D after run through D on this team. Wall City's got to attack that disc.
Yeah, as we've talked about earlier, Wall City missing some of their key cutters. So handlers like Jonas, what's Jonas's last name, Robbie?
Velakis?
Velakis, of course. My good friend Jonas Velakis, whose last name I just learned. He's a small guy, he's a handler. Here he's being forced to cut, maybe not used to it, and he gets run through there.
And we immediately see a timeout from Wall City. Let's take a moment out of the booth so we can hear what they're talking about.
Wir lassen die Scheibe laufen und wir bringen Druck in der Defense. Mit allen zusammen. Genießt dieses Spiel, Männer. Wir sind ja richtig gut. Komm weiter. Nicht allein, nicht die Line. Same line. Boys, come on, chase it out. Alle gegenüber, alle gegenüber.
Okay, Heidees up early, 3-1. They've got 2 breaks cashed in. Wall City have 1 break, so we've seen great defensive pressure and sloppy O-line conversion.
And again, it's that fiery run-through defense that Heidees had against Wall City in the previous matchup, still working for them again.
I'm curious to see if Wall City will make any strategic adjustments or just try to run their typical offense better. Ferdy or Rogers with the isolation, getting it in the middle. Yet another handler being asked to do the job of cutter. Chago putting it out front to Harkins. Oh, that's a beautiful throw. Well run on by Harkins. Wall City with a quick conversion and a hold, which they really needed.
You see there may be a slight adjustment. I don't know if it is, but using a bit more experience in the initiating cutter space. That's Rogers and Riedlo, 2 players that maybe have a little bit more experience than Verlikas playing at this level. And you see that it pays off for them there. Great positioning from that cut from Riedlo, and then he has the huck easy to Harkins. Great timing of the cut from Harkins to convert that goal.
Yeah, Riedlo playing a very important role here today because he's one of the few people here who's a true cutter playing on the O-line who also can threaten to throw those continuation passes. That would typically be the role of Hartley Greenwald, who's got a tweaked quad. Conrad Schlor, who's in America at the moment. So Wall City feeling those absences and hoping people can step into the void. Ravi, how would you describe Wall City's defense and what they're trying to do out there?
Well, they have 2 different types of defense lines that come out here. I think the one that's going out here now, again, I can't remember whether it's the fruits or vegetables, which is their two lines. I think this is the vegetable line. I got the V sign from Gaffney there. This line plays a bit more person-to-person, fiery defense, trying to shut people down, play some team D on matchups. Whereas the other line will play a bit more junky, trying to gum things up, trying to win with intelligence rather than just with athleticism. So I expect that here, they're just picking good matchups and hoping to win athletic battles.
And Ravi, as this pull sails out of bounds, are you more of an athletic or an intelligent player?
Intelligent, Christian.
I would have said both.
You'd be wrong.
Okay, Heidees offense underway. Stulert floating it out in front. Oh, tripped up his Sonntag. Will it be a foul or is that incidental contact? Always hard to say. Foul called, accepted.
Yeah, I think that's the right call. I think that he did have his body in front of Basov, and I know Sonntag, he could have run that one down.
I agree.
And he earns the right to get there. There was a poach defender there. Sadly, if the foul happens, you got to give him the disc.
Nice pressure, Vlad. Unlucky on this one.
Even more than that, I think Sonntag was going to get there before the poach as well.
Vlad should be positioning behind Sonntag here for really being a stickler for the rules, but sometimes people take a bit better position off a call like that.
Stulert had the disc in his hands a lot, comfortable with that. Playing a lot of the 2-man game with Sonntag. They get it off the sideline, which is a wise move in my opinion. Will they be able to get the disc to anyone else, or is this a 2v7 situation? Oh, big piece from Garvey, but it works out anyway. Gill with the disc. Okay, they've managed to work it to within 3 or 4 meters. Blade goes up to the back corner, very crowded. It works out though. That's caught in the back corner of the end zone. Very nicely done by the Heidees. 4-2.
And that is Frederick Linde, younger Linde brother, getting the score there for the Heidees. 2-man game here between Sonntag and Stulert until they break out and then start to use the rest of the team. And to be honest, if you have 2 players like that, yeah, there you see the arm in the back of Sonntag. I think it's the right call. I do have to say, in such a heated, intense game, I think the spirit from both teams has been great. I think both teams have initiated with their, let's say, biased view of thinking, oh, maybe I have it, but they are definitely listening to each other and coming to the right resolution every time. I really am enjoying what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, there's a ton of connections between these 2 teams. There are many players who play together in the Open national team this year. There's some players who are on the mixed national team together. There are players who play beach together with the Kiffgesellschaft. There's just so many connections. Big friendship between this team. They'll play with full intensity for sure, but that love is not lost. Actually, does that mean no love lost? That means, sort of means there is love lost. They're friends.
They're friends is what we're trying to say here. Looking elsewhere in Europe, I believe if my math is correct, Woof from Bruges, Belgium have clinched a wild card. They have one more game against Jet Set Leuven, but if my math is correct, even if they lose that one, they're still going to end up winning the pool. So the women from Bruges, another team punching their ticket to the EUCF.
Herkins to Heinrichs. That's a connection that could have been happening 10 years ago in Wall City. Those are long-time players. Metzger does well to keep the disc on the sideline in a tight space. Gets it off, and the 1-2 to young Jonas. Finds Ferdy in the middle, always a great option. Rickards, again, another handler doing cutting work, but doing a good job of it. Whoa, and that is a weird throw, macked by the Heidees. David does well to find it, lay out, and grab it. That's an amazing save, and Wall City surely needed it. Well done by the captain, Metzger.
Thought that was a D for sure.
Metzger with the wherewithal to almost find the disc as he was in midair, knowing it was being bobbled in his direction. A lot of small ball, front of the stack action, toes goes, throw open side, go open side, throw a break, throw a score. That's Metzger to Rogers. Players who are finding instant chemistry in their first year playing together, maybe aided by their co-captaincy.
For some viewers that are watching this and might not be as familiar with the toes goes philosophy, can you talk a little bit about what that means in dump sets?
So it's paired with another concept. Toes goes is short for throw open side, go open side, which means what it sounds like. Oh, and there's that play by Metzger. What a grab.
Bounces off his quad there, I think, and yeah, just incredible. Go ahead.
Yeah, and the other side of the strategy is throw a dump, become a dump. It's a very simple moniker for what you should do so that everyone's on the same page. And really what we're trying to do is get that continuation upline, the Überläufe it's called in Germany, and you either get that getting closer to the goal and having power position, or oftentimes your mark will bite on it, and then the break around becomes easier to a little dishy score. So definitely a fundamental tenet of good end zone offense. Toes goes, tad bad. I think that's simple enough that Wall City coach BJ can't get mad at me for giving away secrets.
Oh, that's definitely not his secret. I've heard that philosophy coming out of the machine side. It's definitely went over to Is No Good. They're using the same thing over there. So I've heard it from many teams. That's not a Wall City original, but I thought maybe some viewers back home might not know quite as much about it.
That's funny. I have a higher estimation of the viewers back home, but I guess, you know, to each their own. Oh, Wall City well offsides, frothing to get the D. Nobody notices or nobody cares. Heidees content to play against the offsides Wall City defense. I call it like I see it. We got Sonntag. Vlad is putting on a very tight mark, which is good because it makes the huck that much harder for Sonntag. He manages to get it off, but not with the big throw, which he loves to do. Basov forcing Sonntag backwards. Again, really aggressive with the mark, throwing his hands up. He gets the around huck off anyway. It's floaty. Oh, and that's an amazing grab. Well reeled in by the Heidees. He keeps his hand high. Statue of Liberty. Very well done by Torben Haag.
Torben Haag take a bow, matching tape on his face there with Niels Sonntag. You said there, Basov making it so hard to put up a good huck, and this one had to be a little speculative, but Nies trusts his receiver. We're going to hopefully see here in the shot, eventually getting in there, just going up strong, putting the Wall City defender on a poster. Good job, Torben Haag.
And that was Philipp Stefan attempting to get the D here. He's a first-year Wall City player, something of a defensive specialist, I'd say. He's someone I think you primarily want them shutting down cuts, maybe not his specialty being in the deep space necessarily. What do you think of that shot? Do you think the Heidees will take it? Who would prefer that shot going up, the Heidees offense or the Wall City defense?
I think it depends. I mean, it seems with that matchup, when the throw went up, I thought it wasn't the best shot, but that matchup, when I saw the matchup, it turned out to be. So you have to play that way. I think both teams are exhausted right now. Heidees are kind of shooting for an upset win. I think when you're playing a team up, you have to take a bit of those shots. You have to hope a little bit of luck goes your way, because if you just play conservative, the better team's probably going to win. So I don't mind that in this game.
Yeah, and I think it was impressive that he even got that huck off with the long arms of Basov and the flat mark. Only a long handler can get hucks off like that.
And we hear now the defensive horn coming out for Heidees. It wasn't there in the last game, but it's back.
We've been asking for it. The people have been clamoring for the sideline horn. Maybe it is saved for, who knows, the finals, the most intense game of each day. We saw it yesterday, but not in the last round. Paul to Paul. To Chago. Back to business, Paul Herkins. Young Jonas. Throw open side, go open side. And there we see it again. Mark bites on the open side, Party able to get the around. Oh, David manages to find a hole in the middle of the field, looks to throw the continue, maybe gets a little bit of bump on the mark, manages to find Heinrichs for the goal, who throws it down on the line. He did his job, he caught the score. Well done on the hold for the Wall City O-line.
So the sideline horn not helping Heidees on that defense, but I mean, I think they were putting quite a lot of pressure on. That wasn't an easy point for Wall City in terms of how much they had to work for it. They did have easy throws every time, but they were working super hard. And I've just been noticing the game management here. We're going to see again this nice handling movement by Metzger into Henriks. The game management here is interesting for Heidees. I think in previous games they've played a bit more OD line. In this game they are really just alternating lines right now. Probably in the second half they'll cross over Sontag, cross over Linda a little bit more. Right now they're just trusting to win this game as a team, and it's working out for them so far.
Yeah, I think after a long weekend like this, 6 games in 2 days, it's just who feels healthy, who's ready to get a block. Lines sort of dissolve a little bit, and it's more just win by committee.
So we see here that more aggressive person-to-person defense line coming out again for Wall City.
Phil K set to pull. Phil has become something of a bagel magnate in Berlin. He's buying a bakery, converting it to a bagel store. He's already had a couple pop-ups with, I kid you not, lines around the block. So we'll see what becomes more famous, his bagels or his world-class pulls. This one, a 2 out of 4.
That is not best puller in the world material, best
No.
puller in Europe, or whatever he's calling himself.
I agree.
Christian Foster disappointed.
Yes, we see the same matchup here. Bazov, they're opting to keep Bazov on Sontag if they think they like that matchup.
I like it too. I think he did force a very difficult throw. Okay, Sontag got it off. You're not going to stop a player like that from doing everything, but...
And that is a big piece on the mark from Garvey. On the last deep when he managed to get a piece, the Heidees caught it anyway. This time he gets enough of a piece that it goes straight to the ground. Garvey is a long, tall guy with a long mark that pays off twice in a row, this time the D happening. Well done by Garvey.
And that's on Tim Stulert, one of the stalwarts for this Heidees line.
Yes, Tim Stalwart. K getting the upline. Bazov juking and jiving, not getting it. That's Linneman Stones. Gets it off to Phil. Reaches to keep the disc alive. Hits Bazov. They've got a very nice connection on the field. Icy under pressure, catches it on the sideline. They're close to the end zone, but playing in the small space, trapped in the line here, and that's a nice big around from the captain to get it to Bazov. Again, back to K. Wall City in their end zone offense. One-on-one at the front. K easily hits the flick inside. He's pumped up about that. Wall City with a hold. High fives all around. We're settling into the game a bit. Offense is looking a bit cleaner now.
And we see there, was that Sunka Macharek with the score?
I missed it, actually.
So I wanted to, here we're going to see Ned Garvey get the piece on the Tim Stulert. It's a flat mark. Stulert fakes the backhand, then goes for the around, and Ned reads it perfectly well. Great defensive play. And then here we're going to see the setup of this cut. He's just trying to force himself onto the open side, trying to plow his way through. Defender taking the contact. I think that's Linda, but then eventually allowing that break side window. I think that's Jonas Wenderholm who did that movement in the front of the stack.
Yeah, Giannis really loves that front of the stack space. Last year, we on Wall City were playing more of a small ball offense, trying to emulate truck stop, and Giannis really excelled in that front of the stack. He's so shifty and agile.
So that's an equalizing break for Wall City, 5-5 now. I think we're back on serve as Heidees did start the game on offense but gave up a break to start, and now we're back to trading even. So 2 breaks apiece. for these two German sides.
We hear the cheers of O-line from the Heidees sideline. That's a nice pull to Flo Reinert in the back of the end zone. Centers, we're still in the end zone. Oh no, a miscommunication. Oh, and that's an incredible bid. Wow.
Looked up to me.
That's Linus Lutsch, definitely looked up to me. He stopped running as that was thrown and was quick and athletic enough to get to it. Gets two hands on the disc with the layout. These Lutsch brothers are really incredible athletes, and he shows it there.
And I got to point out great spirit again by Jonas Willikits on the sideline, telling his Wall City defender, yes, that was up.
Yes, both teams want to get the Ds the right way. Linda and Reinert, they've been working together all day in the backfield. Reinert more of a threat for the wild huck. Linda a more conservative handler. Oh, and that's a nice inside break to Hans Tiro, the legend. To Reinert, that's a long time Heidees connection. As I said, the wilder rips coming from Reinert, and that's a beautiful look to Lutsch, who gets not the bookends, but the amazing layout save, and then the score later in the point.
And that we're seeing the wily veterans eventually tossing it to one of the youth in Linus Lutsch. Here we're going to see, I think, the wayward pass that comes up with the layout grab. You can't see it here, but there's a miscommunication. Linda stops. And look at the determination in his eyes. He does get that up before it hits any blades of grass. Fantastic grab. And then the deep cut here. Heinrichs tries to put a straight mark on, but it's no match. And there we go, Linus Lutsch with the score. Great play by the number 8.
Yeah, Heinrichs, we can see he's playing straight up, but he's really far off his man, unlike Bazov, as we saw earlier. And that means that Reinert can really wind up there. I'm sure there's some logic to what he was doing in that space, but it does redound to Reinert having a nice big throwing motion.
Score now 6-5 Heidees. We are going to take a little break here as both teams take a timeout.
Here we see Wall City on the line. Ferdy calling out the play for the offense. Ferdy's been giving his wisdom to Wall City all year, and he was officially elevated to captain in the past couple weeks. But he's been calling plays for the O-line since the very start of the season.
What's he been adding as a captain for Wall City? A bit more emotional intelligence, strategical intelligence? Such a talented player on the European scene. What do you think's been his biggest strength for Wall City so far?
Oh, such a great question. What I really like about Ferdia is he sort of knows what he wants to convey to the team, but it's not a top-down sort of authoritative way he interacts with the team. He's really brought in a culture of asking people's opinion, what they think worked and didn't work, getting consensus on a lot of things. When you're a new guy especially, you need to earn that credibility and show the people that you're listening.
He shows the people there that he can make a great grab as he saves possession for Wall City.
Definitely. He's also a really great thinker of Ultimate. He sends scouting reports of all the teams. He just does it. That was well before he was captain. He sent us a rundown of everyone we were going to play, who's the cutter, who's the handler. He lives and breathes Ultimate. And that's an incredible grab by Paul Herkins from the throw from Paul Rickards. That is a lovely connection. Paul Herkins, a great athlete, does well to get down and catch that layout. He sees Linus Lutsch and says, we can do that too.
Yeah, a couple wayward passes there on the Wall City possession. I don't know if we're going to get a look at both of them. This is at least the scoring pass, I believe. Going to see Rickards there. Fakes the flick, moves the mark. Then that throw definitely a bit low, but Herkins, the athlete, able to get it. You see Rickards a little disappointed in himself, even though that throw went off.
And there's that toes goes. David does well. What's important about the toes goes is the success metric is not, did I get the upline cut? A good clear can be just as good as a good reception. And right there, he opened up the space for the around. Well done by Metzger. Ravi, you were talking earlier about how there's these two sort of generations, the sort of Tiro, Reinert on the Heidees, and these young guys who are coming up. They just beat Bad Skid in the semifinals by 1 point. Do you think that has something to do with sort of having this youth connection?
Yeah, I mean, I think that if I see Heidees, it seems like they were really good in the early 2010s. I think they were in a top 8 World Clubs team in 2014, and then they have been building since then. And you can tell they've been building through their youth of around the region of where their club's based. And Bad Skid, I think, I've seen them play this weekend, holding on a little bit more to the older generation, more of the people who were competing against Hans Tiro in the early 2010s. There were still a good few young players on Bad Skid, but I think Heidees might have the upper hand in the next generation, maybe the next 3 or 4 years. I think Wall City a bit of a medium between those two. A bit younger than Bad Skid, but still more youthful exuberance coming from Heidees. So let's see how things play out. It's always interesting looking around Europe. I mean, a team like Clapham also still has a lot of very old players. They could probably field a very competitive Masters team out of most of their team. But they do manage to every now and then bring in some hot young talent just from their brand. Different teams do it different ways.
Yeah, Clapham have the benefit of being just a really large metropolis. They can sort of pull people from other teams, let other teams develop the talent. Whereas in Germany, these smaller cities, a lot of times they have to develop their own youth players, which fosters a great environment, but it also makes it harder to build a program. Bad Skid, they're from an area of a lot of really small towns, and I don't know if there's an obvious way to just get a pipeline of youth players. Here we see Reinert with the disc.
I mean, they built themselves up through youth players, right? That's how they started in schools here, and the question is, have they been able to continue that? And they have that, I think, a club here called or a team here called the Kids, which is from around here, focusing on youth. But even when you have great youth programs, great youth pipelines, you end up with these golden generations every now and then, and they hold the torch for maybe a bit longer than they should. And oh, there we see it blocked from Phil Kay.
Kay gets the block and catches it after knocking it down. Ooh, that's a piece on the mark from Lanish Luksh, but it's caught anyway by Ferdia. Phil working in the ISO space, a little bit crowded here. And here we've got Yannick Marburg working nicely. The lefty-lefty connection. Ferdy directing traffic. We've got Zunka on the far side calling for space. And that's a very nice score by Yannick Marburg. Yannick Marburg, interestingly, has played for both the Heidees and Wall City. In the 2022 season, he played with the Heidees, and that's where Wall City won German Nationals for the first time. But he got his revenge at EUCF. He had an incredible game in the quarterfinals where he D'd Hartley Greenwald at a crucial point. And the Heidees got that upset win. So he's seen both sides of these teams. I'm pretty sure he's happy where he is now, but he'll love scoring against his own squad, or throwing the assist.
Here we see the wayward pass going a bit above Luksh. Phil Kay doing well to catch the disc. And what we saw later on there, I think Ferdia doing it once, maybe a bit outside of the structure on the toes goes. He threw the dump to the open side and then went straight half, and then he kind of faked that move and went back to the break side. If this is the last one, he does it a bit more probably by the book and clears the space for his teammate. Yeah, and that's what opens that up for that easy break pass for the score. And so it's good teamwork there to know that the mark might be moved, so immediately attack that break space. Great work by the red zone Wall City offense. So 7-6, Wall City with that break will take the lead back, and they will be getting the disc after half. So if they can get halftime, that little soft break you get by winning the first half when you start on D.
You can't see it at home, but as that pole went up in the sky, there was a glider landing overhead, the second one of the match, a very nice sight as Heidees begin their offense. That's the forehead tape to forehead tape connection. I tried to get to the bottom of that, as a good journalist does between games, and I could only be told that it was an inside joke on the part of one of them and solidarity on the part of the other. Ravi, tell me what you see from the Wall City defense here.
Take a bit of a closer look. Again, just seems like strong matchup defense, trying to just respect your matchup and shut it down. Not giving anything to the cutting options. Heidees having to work extremely hard just to gain a couple meters.
Oh, and that's a big rip going up the sideline. Kay in pursuit, not going to get there in time. And that is almost on the goal line. A beautiful catch. That's Teichert with the disc on the goal line. Who can help him out? Stahl rising, floaty to the middle. Linnemeister gets the D, doesn't work out. Wow, he got to catch your D there, Linnemeister. Way to get to the disc, but in the end, it's caught by Telso Gill.
Yeah, Gill there, great presence of mind. The shot was not really on. You saw Teichert. I actually think he could have milked that into the end zone quite easily, but we're often taught not to do that. In that case, he had steps on K, and then this throw just, you see the space, but he had to put that way further to the right, therefore he gives the D a chance, but Gill, just a strong receiver, takes it in, and we bring ourselves to Galaxy Point. 7-7 here, and I think the teams are taking a timeout.
Yeah, we see it again. Catch your Ds is sort of meant as like a ribbing statement in the Ultimate community, but I think it's actually just good strategy. Sometimes you can only brush it if it's a little too far, but that one was well in hand. Just grab it out of the sky. I'll stop my preaching and we'll take a quick break so we can watch these huddles. So this game is obviously the gold medal match for the tournament, but we also have Gentle and Bad Skid playing in the 3-4 game, which has implications for the EUCF ranking. Bad Skid right now up 10-8. As we know, Bad Skid in 15th place, Heidees in 16th as of yesterday, so this is really tight. Robbie, what's happening around the continent?
Yeah, just quickly, that also might have flipped if you're 15 and 16 and Heidees got the upset win over Bad Skid. Bad Skid could be sitting at 16th right now. Around the Europe, we have Quixotes versus One Tribe in one of the another wild card matchup. That's 5-5, so a tight one there. I also know Mosquitoes versus Tartu Turbulence in the mixed division is 6-7. Tartu Turbulence up on the team from Vienna, so the Estonians doing well there. Tons of games all over Europe. It's so exciting, Christian.
It is, truly. We have Wall City in their own end zone, and the Heidees horn is going off. That's the signal to up your defensive intensity by 20%, and it's meant to intimidate the Wall City players. Let's see if it works. Ferdy on the middle of the back of his own end zone. Sometimes when you're back here, you feel like you're trapped, and there's often a big huck available. Chago's one who could throw it. Will he? Yes. It's floaty, but it's well weighted out in front. Can Rickards get there? Yes, he can. Very nicely done. Rickards, the man you want on the goal line. Oh, and wow, Herkins just, oh, and that's an incredible bid. I thought Herkins would hit, but Herkins would get the disc from Rickards on the first try. Instead, Jonas gets it on the follow-up. Well contested by the Heidees, but Wall City punches it in.
Yeah, Tim Stulert there putting his body on the line, trying to inch his way towards a block, but Wall City take half 8-7, and they will be receiving out of half. So Wall City up in the advantage position right now, but this is a back-and-forth game here, Christian. I think we're in for a great one.
Yeah, for sure. Herkins, I thought he had a step there, but Rickards is respecting the defense of confident leader Jasper Linde. Very tight. Very nice bid by Stuhler. It's something of a defensive block getter. He'll be representing the mixed national team in Australia, as will Phil Kay on the other side. Hartley Greenwald, there, number 13. You see him in the huddle. And Ava Muller, who we saw on the sideline.
So just elsewhere around Europe, before we take a quick break, 3SB women are up on East Block, women 10-7. That's a reversal of the match before, but this is also a game for a wild card, so the Czech battle for first place in Trnava going on strong. Great games all around Europe. You can catch all of them here at live.ultimatefederation.eu with solid sports coverage. We'll take a quick break here now. We'll be back with second half action. Don't go anywhere.
Over there. Apologies. Make it close behind us.
Wall City with offense to begin the second half. Lest I forget, I also want to shout out Giannis Wenderholm, the last player in this game who's playing on the mixed national team. A defensive specialist in his own right. He's looking to make a splash down under.
A lot of national team talent here, but they're focused on their clubs. Always a tough thing to do on national team years. Split your focus, go to international preparation tournaments with both teams, but doing it here for Wall City. Also a couple players going over to Australia on the Heidees team as well.
Now this tournament is just open, Ravi, but on that highlight reel we saw during the break, there was a lot of women's highlights, a lot of Jinx, who was on the top of my mind as a Berliner. What do you think the top of the division at EUCF is going to look like? Do you think there's a clear favorite, or is it a free-for-all?
So you're talking in the women's division?
The women's division.
I think it's a tight race for the top. I think that there's probably about 4 to 6 teams that could take the title, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Mm-hmm. I, on the other hand, think Jinx will win.
Unbiased.
Me too. I'm biased. Herkins running down the disc, close to the end zone, lost his man. Wow, a beautiful score. He had big separation there. I'd love to see again how he got that. Very quick point, over before you can even talk about the other division.
See Heinrichs, who threw that disc, seems a bit, I think, frustrated in himself. I don't know if that's a shot that he really wanted to take. At least that's what I'm reading from his body language, is like, I'm not really sure about that. But it turned out to be a beauty, but it had to be pretty accurate in a very narrow space. Luckily, he had Herkins down there to track it down.
Yeah, Herkins does well to catch it in, knows where the sideline is, stays aware, makes the easy grab, keeps the left foot down.
So that's 9-7, a strong start out of half for Wall City. Heidees with a little bit of a hole. Again, they are aiming to win this game. I think point difference be damned at this point. They can just get that win. They don't have to worry about anything ranking-wise, about something going weird with some other team somewhere else in Europe, dropping a game, winning a game. Just give me the ticket so I know what's going on.
Yeah, they want the ticket with the win, but a loss by a lot of points would be really bad. So these O holds are so crucial. It feels like the wind is picking up a little bit on the field, not in any particular direction, but just a little bit gusty and weird. Didn't bother Heinrichs that last point, but let's see what it does here to the Heidees offense. The pull goes out of bounds. The Young family offering their help and bringing it back to the field. Very nicely done. And that's a layout.
That counts. Split stack here from the Heidees.
And Wall City not even pretending to guard the dumps right here. They are big, sagging in the lane. Looks like an arrowhead. But once they get to the sideline, Icy is tight in the middle, pushes his man out. Reinert saves the day in the middle. Reinert to Tiro. To Luksch. Oh, and that's a big rip to the big man. Looks like a good matchup. Machurik coming into the play. The other big man, little too late, not able to work out. And that is a score over Yannick Marburg, the ex-Heidi, and well reeled in.
Is that Florian Meirenberg with the reception, I believe? Yes, yes it is. Florian Meirenberg, who's actually been coming to me a lot, talking about how closely he's following the rankings. I think he said he was a physicist or something like that, so he's very into math. He's downloaded the algorithm, because it is open source, onto his own computer, played around with it. He's been telling me every game how he thinks this is going to impact the ranking, and there, just doing it with his body instead of with his mind.
Yeah, and I guess the physics helps him track the parabola of this disc as it exists in three-dimensional space-time, and just brings it down right there. I love the effort by Machurik to get in the play. But Meirenberg does better. Did you know that Florian Meirenberg is 27 years old?
I had no idea.
That's all we have on his bio information, which is a reminder to all teams out there to fill out your bio information if you want us to say interesting things on the stream and shout out your family.
So here Heidees good strong hold was again one of those shots maybe you asked before, would you be okay with taking that shot? Again, in this game, you're playing to an opponent that might be slightly above you. I like that they're not shy of taking those options. Well, let's see if they can apply some pressure. As you said, the wind maybe slightly picking up. See the trees lightly swaying. We'll see if this falters the Wall City offense in any way.
Knowing the Heidees mentality, I bet you they have no idea that Wall City is better than them. Probably would have said the same thing about Bad Skid going to the last matchup. Nobody told the Heidees. Ridlow with the big huck, matching huck for huck. Similar shape, similar float. 4 defenders versus Herkins. I like the matchup. Oh! And the person you least expect, that is Jonas Valakis, the smallest and youngest man on the field, cleaning up the trash behind the pile, and he gives the too small symbol like an NBA player. And that is the height of comedy. I love it.
It's not better be a troll too small, because he didn't sky the pack, he just was in the right place. You see all the defenders swarming around Herkins as he just draws them in like a magnet. Of course, the Heidees players do get the tip, but Jonas Valakis very intelligently for a youth player saying, no, I'm not going to get involved in that. In case something goes wayward, I'll be ready to pick up the trash. He does it perfectly there.
You know, I don't think he was saying the height was too small. I think he was saying their brains were too small, because he made the intelligent play, got behind the pack, and the luck worked out on his side that time. And you can see the frustration on the face of Telso Gill, who really wanted that one.
So 10-8, Wall City hold on to their score. Points getting a bit sloppy in terms of the deep options they're shooting at, but still offense is coming down with it. We'll see if that favors Heidees or Wall City going later into this game. We've got 18 minutes left here in this Heilbronn tournament. Heidees fighting for their lives, hoping to win a qualification spot. Wall City fighting to get into that top 4 seed. Both teams something to play for, and that's something I've actually really liked about this weekend compared to the old system when it was EUCR. In an EUCR tournament, the top teams don't actually really need to care. You know, okay, there's 4 bids. We're going to get one of the 3. It doesn't really matter. Here, all the teams are playing for their ranking, and there's something to play for. You want to get a better seed at EUCF. You want to force yourself into that top 4. Then you're still going to put everything into it. And I think there's more urgency going on here than you typically see at regionals tournaments in the past.
And the third backhand tuck in a row goes up. Oh, and the receiver, boom, attacks a little bit too aggressively. He had space, tried to get it high. I think he could have run onto it. And it's the Heidees who crack first in the battle of the immediate hucks.
There's a slight misread there, I think, thinking he could get it up early. I really don't think he needed to. He could have ran it down, as you said. And now, Wall City with a chance to extend their lead.
Will Kay keep up the streak of backhand bombs one after the other? Ooh, he looked like he might have. And he does! Nobody is there. Zunko Machurik had made the in-cut. I think he could have actually still got it if he had turned around and made a run for it. I'd be a little mad if I was Kay. I'd be a little mad if I was Machurik. Just a miscommunication there. Do you think he could have gotten that one?
I think that's a K error. I think that he was already coming back, and the two Heidees defenders were going to be in front of him.
Oh, and Stefan Kuhn gets the D. Icy Ice, as he's known, ice in his veins. And K to Bazov with the spike. Oh, and the frustrated Heidees on the ground. That was their break to get. They gave it right back.
Sometimes you get a gift, and sometimes they take it right away. That actually was a break for Wall City. That was supposed to be a hold. There was another turn first. The huck that Heidees gave, then it turned into a huck from K, and then giving it back here on the Kuhn D as he reads the overshot. Tiro trying to get to it, and Kuhn had to do that. If Kuhn had just let that sail over both their heads, Tiro would have had it. And now K, definitely looking a little frustrated himself, but picks that up, throws the pass to Basov, and confirms the break. So 11-8, Wall City extend their lead.
A nice bid there on the mark, doing everything he can to stop the point, but not quite enough. Robbie, I'd like to officially take back what I said about Zunke having a chance at that disc. He was coming under. He was a bit upset at the Airbnb this morning because the eggs we hard-boiled were all bad, and I don't want to add insult to injury here. K turnover, loud and clear, and Zunke, the champion of this week's Magic the Gathering draft on the train. So shout out to him, shout out to Magic the Gathering, and sorry to all the Wall City boys that hate that I said that. Had to get it in. Wall City, Veggies D-line coming down. That's the name of this D-line that plays a little bit more man-to-man. Vlad with that tight mark that we talked about earlier in the game. That's the matchup they like, shaking those arms back and forth, trying to add a little bit of pressure. Stulert with the disc, Sonntag motioning to the teams. I love when a handler has the time to sort of stop what they're doing and communicate with their teammates with their arms or with their eyes. It's a sign that they're really in control. And Sonntag is definitely in control at this point. Let's see if he keeps it up. Stulert, nice shot to the younger Linda. A hammer dump, something you don't see every day, but it works out here. Wall City really communicating loudly from the sideline. It goes up, shot on goal. Ferdier Rogers under it. Can he get it? Yes! He knows how to catch his D's. He looks around, checks that his people are okay, and they are not. We have an injury on the ground.
Really strong reception there from Rogers. He's not the tallest person, but he's big in his ability to take those plays down. Reads it well, goes up strong, not afraid of the contact coming from behind.
Ferdier Rogers, known as sort of an offensive specialist, but what I've learned this season is he fights really hard to get the disc back, and he often does it himself.
And here, crossing over the D-line as Wall City is short on numbers, getting a D, and the advantage is on this third break opportunity in a row. They have the likes of Rogers and Riedlow out there.
It looks like Teichert just got bumped by his teammate, and Baneka comes on in his stead. He's a great defender, so Heidees will hope that he can get a D here. The huck goes up from Metzger to Herkens, a common target right now, running it down. He is too fast to be caught up with. That is beautiful, and we're sure to hear the call of Hooter Hooter, which is David's signature call.
And as I think mostly O-line players there getting a break for Wall City and extending their lead to 12-8. This is not where you want to be if you're a Heidees fan. If they lose this game big, like you said, they could end up on the outside of the EUCS qualification.
Yeah, Wall City playing very aggressive in their offense. We've seen a lot of shots lately. I wonder if they've made that strategic adjustment because it's working for them, or because a lot of us have trains to catch and it's going to be pretty tight. They might be trying to end the game as quickly as they can. We'll take a quick break during this timeout and be with you shortly. And we saw that huddle. One thing we saw yesterday, which was a fiery pump-up speech by the man known as confident leader, Jasper Linde, the captain of this team. He can get emotional. He is the fiery heart and soul of this team. Not necessarily the best player, but the one they all look to for inspiration. They know he's going to give his all. He gives his all in the huddle to fire up his team. He knows how important this moment is, and I'm sure all the Heidees do as well. Every point counts right now.
He also is a pretty good player himself, has to be said. We do see here Sonntag and Stühlert crossing over with Tiro, so they are changing their lines up a bit, which tends to happen if you get broken 2 or 3 times in a row, which is what's happened now. It's an important response moment now. They have to get that hold. They have to stop the bleeding and think about this 1 or 2 points at a time. They can't be looking at this 12-8 and thinking, oh, how are we going to get to 13? Get this hold in, then trust your defense and see what you can do.
It starts with Reinhardt catching the slightly blady pull, does well to bring it in. Both these teams starting with the same isolation play, clearing a handler out and running the host stack player closest down the strong space. There's that matchup we love. Bazov Sonntag. Sonntag showing the range of his throws. He's got blades, he's got hammers, he's got hooks. Oh, loses a lot of yards in this dump. And they're running a no-handler set right now, which can build the pressure a little bit. Now they've got Sonntag back in the space. And again, back into a traditional 2-handler set. We're in a vert stack right now. Trapped on the sideline. Flo Reinhardt gets it off. Sonntag fakes the flick, throws the flick to Tiro. Not your typical deep threat, but looks good. Great throw, well done by Hans Tiro. Gets past Dumke. That's a very beautiful cut from the legend.
Hans Tiro showing he's still got it as a deep threat. You always love that. Probably players are trying to push him deep, push him in the space that they think he's not going to be as effective. You don't want the disc in his hands. He just takes advantage. I think Dumke looks away for the slightest second, and Sonntag immediately sees the option, throws Tiro open. And Tiro still got some jets there. 12-9, they do stop the bleeding. That was the first step. Can they bring a defensive stand now? Who are they going to trust to go out there and get that block? Is it going to be one of the Lux brothers? Is it going to be Stühlert? Somebody has to step up and make a play for this Heidees team. They're not the team that's going to win everything just on Team D. They got to make blocks to get back into this.
Yes, and the Heidees is a team that's never shy in the big moments. They came through in the semis on Universe Point. They deserve to be in this finals, and I think they've got something left to show us.
It's going to take a lot of heart and a lot of drive if they want to get that wild card now. Wall City's definitely going to say something about it.
We see Teichert warming up the arms. Gil ready for the rundown. Stühlert. Linde.
And the horn. Most importantly.
The longest, loudest toot of the horn we've heard so far. That's how you know this matters. Rickerts to Heinrichs. We've got a stoppage of play.
Heinrichs is what we call suspiciously free. Sometimes that can come from a pick.
He is. It was roughly from this position that he threw that last flick hook to Herkins. Let's see if he does it again or opts for a more conservative throw. Looks like we've got an injury in the stack space, and you hate to see that.
Yeah, that's Torben Haag, I think, coming off, who's been really good for them this game. But they will get Nils Sonntag. It's not a bad replacement if you have to lose Haag.
Yeah, he had about 12 seconds of rest, and he's needed again on the field. As we resume play. Wall City goes backwards on 2 throws in a row. Keep possession, but Heidees do well to force them back. Oh, and that is a poach D right in the space, intended for Ferdia, but another person's defender gets right in the way. Heidees, they would love to have this break, and they have a short field and good chance to get it.
Liam Schall again with the D. He had one earlier in the first half. Now getting a key one to keep Heidees alive.
And you never want anyone to be injured, but the result of that injury, that Sonntag on the field right now, really big for the D-line's offense, I'd say.
Come on, Jago! Come on, Jago!
We've got Gill with the disc, back to Stuhler. Sonntag isolating in the front of the stack against Herkens. Ooh, I don't know who that was for, but it squeaked through and worked out.
It's definitely for Sonntag and thrown a bit off. Gill doing a good job of there picking up the trash.
I thought so too. So important to be heads up. High hammer goes up. Can Heinrichs get there? Oh, he can. Jonas and Richie back there to collect the trash. Heidees had a chance at it, but not able to bring it in. And they'll be frustrated with that.
I think there was actually friendly fire there. Both Heidees players getting hands on it and just not having that communication to have one of them go for it.
That's really unlucky. Oh, and an incredible layout defense. Wow, that was Luksch with the D. Oh, Chego immediately calls foul, but I thought it was very close. Ravi, what did you see?
I saw a clean D, but again, I may be biased in the heat of the moment. I didn't feel it. Maybe there was a slight slap of the hands. Let's see if we can get a replay on this one. I definitely saw it coming from a little bit further away. There's a pass around from Ferdia here. Yeah, if he's arguing they had control, I don't think he did. A little bit of contact there, but I think at this level, what both teams are playing with, I think they might have I would let that go as a D, but I didn't feel what Riedlo felt in his hands.
Yeah, I'm personally not a fan of these strip calls when it's just as it touches your hands. He certainly had both hands on it, but it takes a couple nanoseconds to really get control. I would call a D there.
I don't think a strip is if he's really calling a strip there, he did not have control for more than a moment, like a fraction second. He had his hands touching the disc, but that is okay. Back in Ferdia's hands here. Heidees gonna have to do it again.
And that was the intensity and energy we're looking for. Layout Ds when it matters most. A replay of the same throw, this time a different outcome. Foul on the mark. You can tell how much he wants this D. Sorry, I think I said it was Luksch, but it's Bernecke. Easily confusable because those are the players laying out all over the place.
Some drizzle starting to come down here as the weather going to maybe try to mix things up. I think if things get a little sloppier here, that favors Heidees. We'll see what happens.
It feels like we're playing 7 versus 14 right now because the Heidees all on the sideline, giving their all, yelling very close. Oh boy, there is high pressure right now. Can Wall City handle it? Time will tell. The rain is certainly not going to help their offense. The horn, the extra person on the sideline, the loudest of them all. We've got tired legs out there, I'm seeing. Oh, and that's a big fake by Herkens. Doesn't go up. Wall City.
Heinrichs was open there, and wow, great job by Heidees to force a timeout in that situation. After so many passes, they are now still in their defending end zone. This is exactly where you want the offense to be if you're Heidees.
Yeah, really nicely done. You can tell that those players on the field feed off the intensity of their sideline and the intensity of this moment. As I said, I think they step up to the challenge, and that's what we saw there. First on what could have been a D, called a strip, and now just working them backwards into the end zone.
And there we see Schall getting the D. Unfortunately, they weren't able to convert that one with the friendly fire into the hammer in the end zone. And now you see the downfield cutters, sorry, this is the D again. Downfield cutters from Wall City looked gassed. They looked like they weren't able to try and build up to make a cutting option happen, and they just clamped down on the handler defense. And it was just an incredible defensive stand there by Heidees. They're gonna have to keep it going though. It's really hard to do that again. They've had a chance to catch their breath, but as I've said before, this situation I think favors the defense. You're able to just set, you're able to see exactly what the offensive formation is. You're able to, set up some switches if you want. Let's see if the Heidees can use it.
Yeah, and during that timeout, we just saw a plethora of highlights, beautiful slow motion plays of all the important things from that point. I think it's a perfect time to shout out our film team who's doing amazing work this weekend. We've got Moritz, Mojo Muller sitting to my left, Tim and Huyang, and Yannick Karda. They've been doing incredible work. Thank you so much for capturing all these amazing angles. They're the sort of the silent heroes. in the background of our sort of blabbering, you know, fame-seeking, let's call it light narcissism. Does that sound right, Ravi?
That's, I don't want it to, but it might.
Thank you to the team in any case. They're really doing amazing work. This is my first time on the commentary, and I'm so impressed with the professionalism of the setup.
Yeah, also got to shout out the Heilbronn, the whole Heilbronn crew, Bad Skid, and all of their friends and family putting this great tournament together. And of course the EUF organizing from a higher standpoint as well.
Definitely. And we're back in action. Wall City working out of their own end zone. Oh, and that is a flying bid by Sonntag. What an incredible bid, adding to the pressure. Herkens turns around and throws it right away. I think Wall City felt the pressure there.
What an incredible layout by Stuhler. How high did he get? Shades of the Aurora Leshnik block from Windmill earlier this year. That was giant. Of course, he didn't get the disc, but I think he got in the head of Herkens.
Oh my goodness.
Can Heidees do something with it here?
It goes right back the other way. We've got a defender helping off on the weak side is Herkens. I think it would have worked out otherwise, but a very smart poach D from the other side of the stack. I'm sure Coach BJ would be very proud at home.
You love to see that from Herkens. He knows he made the mistake and he took the responsibility to get it back, and now he's on the receiving side.
And he points to the end zone. He calls his shot. Richie is happy to oblige. This is a trust ball, and the trust is deserved and earned. He skies Linda to cap the long back and forth point. What a exciting point in this rainy final.
So that is 13 to 9, it looks like. And that will give, I think, as we look at the clock, we've gone past the 0-minute mark. So from my estimation, we're in a game to 14. Look at that bid from Stuhler. It's putting Sonntag putting everything on the line for his team. We're going to see it again. Look how high he gets.
Oh, Superman bid. Incredible effort. Wow.
And a timeout is called, I think, by Wall City here. So we'll take a quick breather. We'll be back with you in a moment. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a listen into what these huddles are saying.
We're back, 13-9, Wall City over the Heidees in this final. Game to 14. Time has run out in the official clock. Has time run out for the Heidees to get closer in this game? They need a hold desperately. Wall City will have something to say about that.
Elsewhere around Europe, 3SB women have clinched the wild card, beating East Block 13-10. From what I saw in Chambéry, I believe that one tribe was up in that final quite late against Quixotes, which have got undefeated up until that point. One tribe's up 13-10, but it doesn't look like the game's over yet. So wild cards getting dealt out here in Europe.
As you can see at home, the rain has really picked up here. If the Heidees can punch this in, that will add to the high variance. I think it's good for them. It'll help them get breaks, but first they have to get this hold. Easier said than done in weather like this. Flo Reinert, experienced player, someone you want in a high-pressure situation. Stuhler, a deep switch from Wall City, playing smart in the cutter space. Phil runs into his man and falls down. Not sure who called what, hope he's okay. So Mayenberg with the disc, Kay defending, gets centered to Reinhardt. Luksch on the far side. Into the steady hands of Hans Tito. Heidees keeping the disc alive, but going nowhere so far. I like how Wall City is containing this offense. Heidees looking to punch through. They've got power position, but can't make use of it. Oh no, and that's an unforced error thrown right to Wenderholm in the middle of the field. He's looking, he's got lots of options. Option sets to hold it until he gets something more secure. Heinrichs, 12 meters from winning the tournament. Looking upfield and outside in backhand. The continue to Stefan Kuhn. Wall City take the win, 14-9, a win by 5, not what the Heidees wanted. A well closed out game by Wall City.
Wall City clinch their wild card spot into the EUCF. Wasn't really in doubt at their ranking position, but this does outdo their expected score, where they're meant to win by just a little over 2. They won by 5 here. That's definitely going to help them in the ranking. So commiserations to Heidees. That might have been enough to push them out, but Wall City celebrating here. Just to keep in mind, if you want to find out exactly who gets in or out to the EUCF tomorrow night, Monday night, 8 o'clock, in or out, we'll be having a live show with me and Lorcan Murray announcing things here on live.ultimatefederation.eu or the EUF YouTube channel or the EUF Facebook group. We're going to have a nice show for you to tell up who's got in or out.
And Ravi, did I hear you a minute ago volunteer to go out into the rain and give the on-field interview?
Yes, I'm going to go do that now. You can talk through a little bit about what's happened in this game while I do that.
That's big of you. Thank you very much. I'll stay high and dry in the booth. Wall City cheesing for their team photo. Now they go into the high 5 line with the Heidees. Lots of love between these two squads. Smiling faces all around. My co-host, Ravi Vasudevan, is in the mix on the field looking for his interviewee. Spirits seem high, nobody's bothered by the rain. Richie accepting the golden disc from Bad Skid. And we get the Eurodisc cheer. I'm sure that actual sponsor Eurodisc will be quite happy about that. And we turn to Ravi.
Thumbs up. We're good. All right, I'm here with Dave Metzger here after that win, winning the summer tour in Heilbronn. First of all, David, how'd this win feel?
Feels amazing. We came with a small roster, but working towards this all season and now capping the regular season off with this. It's amazing.
So early in this game, it seemed that Heidees actually had the upper hand. They went up a break, they took the lead. What did your team do to kind of recenter yourselves and get yourself in a better position to take a commanding second half?
I don't think we changed too much. We knew that the pressure, if we bring it continuously, was going to pay off in the second half. We had a really good game also the first time we played each other, applied that pressure, and we just kept our calm on offense and brought that pressure continuously on defense, and it just paid off in the end. We have a deep squad, even though we're here with few people, but everyone played amazing defense. We kept the intensity high. I think we didn't dip in energy when we didn't see the results, and that really paid off in the end.
So this is the last game of the EUCS season for you all. New system. I know you guys are probably trying to fight to get yourselves into a top 4 seed. You did outdo the algorithm. You were predicted to have a 2-point win. You got a 5-point win. Did any of things like that go into your minds or in game planning, or you just came out here and played some Ultimate?
I'd be lying if I say we didn't think about it, as a leadership group at least. But ahead of the tournament we said, hey, we're here to dominate every game. We're here to win every game. And we don't want to win by the margin that the algorithm dictates, but we just want to crush on the field. We did not look at the score line and we're like, oh, we're exactly where we want to be, now let's have a power line, but rather a game plan for the performance that we want to bring either way.
All right, Dave, I'm going to let you get home. I know you got a long trip back to Berlin. Congrats. We'll see you at the EUCF.
Thanks so much.
Back to you, Christian.
Yes, thank you very much, Ravi. Great interview there with David Metzger. And that will wrap up our weekend here in Heilbronn at the Summer Tour. It's been an incredible experience. Thanks to everyone who watched. Thanks to Ravi, my co-host, and the whole crew here. If you liked the commentary you saw, don't be afraid to slide into Steph Rapasto's mentions. Give a shout out to your boy, Christian Gaffney. Thank you all. We're logging off now. Have a great weekend. Have a great wait. And like we said, tomorrow night, the results come out. European Ultimate waits with bated breath. Cross your fingers.